Hey, what's going on out there? This message goes out to Cash Money, Slim, Ron Slim Williams, Baby Birdman Williams. Goes out to both of y'all. This is your boy Fig, and I made a YouTube video just not too long ago talking about the record labels, the industry, and all these things that were going on that wasn't so um, popular, I would say, in the on the streets. And like I said earlier in my first YouTube video, I was saying, giving you guys props on all the good things that you guys are doing with Cash Money over here in Northern America, and with Cash Money and the artist Jay Sean and the other people you got established over there in the UK. Just wanted to give you big ups and all the, I guess, all the accolades and all the props definitely goes out to you guys. But also, I feel like I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing and just keep stressing the fact until one of you guys hear me out. That's what I do. I'm a grinder, you know, and it's not a situation whereby I'm looking for or a handout or anything like that. I'm just asking for more or less of an opportunity. Like I said earlier in my first YouTube video, you guys doing a lot of big things with just people from the streets. You know what I mean? Like I said previously, you got all these cats out here or whatever that claim to be from the streets, but then when you check out their label, or you check out some kind of establishment or company that they run, they leave white people and Jewish people to run it. You're like, yo, wasn't this the same cat that was just talking about how he's good on the streets and how the streets are listening and he's all about the streets and the city and the and the hood and all this other stuff, but yet you got a Jewish dude running your label, or you got a white dude or an Indian. I mean, hell, some of them even outsource. You know what I mean? Bringing people from freaking India to run their company. You know what I mean? But like I said, with Cash Money, you guys keep it real. You know what I mean? You made Weezy the president of Cash Money, and then you got Jay. You got big things with Mack Maine. Running Young Money. So all in all, like I said, you guys are doing big things with pretty much people that other people might have seen as okay, either thugs or just no one of substance, and you make them into something. You bring out their raw talent that nobody else sees or no one else perceives, and that's why I said earlier in my first YouTube video, I give a lot of credit to you guys because you have that foresight that nobody else has or sees. But the point I wanted to make out to you guys on this YouTube video that I'm making is the fact that I believe I didn't stress enough about certain things that I'm about and certain things that certain skills or certain attributes that I have. I think I just pretty much put emphasis a lot on the things that you guys were doing, and spoke a little bit about the things I wanted to do over in Africa, stating that Cash Money needs to branch out into other continents and not just you can not just Europe and North America, but you guys could actually do big things if you establish in Africa and the other continents as well. And like I said previously, I wanted the opportunity to be able to run that show, or whatever, run that branch, if and when you establish something in that base of Africa. But nevertheless, I just wanted to express to you guys also that I'm also someone that's multi-talented. I'm not just a person that, I just listen to music while I like music, while I just keep my ears to the streets and I can just talk a lot of BS. It's not that. I have skills as well, and I believe I have a lot of potential to actually grow with Cash Money and with Young Money as well. But I guess the first aspect that I talked about on my first YouTube video was pretty much the music aspect. And like I said, previous to a lot of other record labels out here since 1989, Cash Money has been established, making big hits, having a foresight to see young artists that no one saw any potential in, and making them into big names. And you grow them up. You just don't get an artist that you think that are mainstream, and you put them out there and they make one hit record and then they go. No, you bring them up from youth. I mean, literally, this isn't metaphorically speaking or figuratively speaking. You actually bring them up from when they're young or whatever, all the way up till they reach they reach adulthood and manhood, and they realize they raw talent. They grow with Cash Money. And obviously some people, when they grow or whatever, sometimes they forget where they come from. I know you had some issues with some of the artists or whatever dropping off, and I know you guys are sort of kind of reuniting again and trying to make and trying to reconciliate and make money, because that's basically what it's all about. I mean, F the BS, F all the politics and bureaucratic BS or whatever. At the end of the day, it's all about the money. But having said that, like I said, the first YouTube video I did, I emphasized a lot on the record label, but I also believe that Cash Money is not just a record label. I don't want to really look at it as that, because you got all these other people that use the record label as more or less of a stepping stone to make what do you call it? To make their own clothing line, for instance. I mean, if you look at Nelly, you know, he came out with the apple bottom or whatever. Or you look at P Diddy, he came out with Sean John, and those are big names. You know, look at Russell Simmons, he came out with Fat Farms. Look at Rockefellers or whatever, Rockefeller Records. They came out with their own label. They came out with State Property. Look at G Unit. G Unit came out with their own clothing line, with their own shoes, and so on and so forth. My thing is like this: if these other labels or whatever that are not as big as Cash Money, you know, no offense to any of the labels I just mentioned, but I mean it's a true fact. It's not an understatement. It's a true fact. If you check the stats, if you check, you know, if you check the paper trail and everything else, Cash Money is number one in all aspects. You know, so if these guys can do big things, and at the end of the day, some of them actually make more money off of either their clothing line or their shoe line or their production companies making movies more than they do making music. You know, so I think basically, to make a long story short, what I'm trying to say is this: that I believe that Cash Money also has the opportunity and has the know-how and has the foresight to branch off into other things as well besides music. You know, I mean, you got all these artists. Whatever Weezy's doing, everybody pays attention to it. It's not a situation whereby you got artists that nobody follows. I mean, they follow Weezy on Twitter. They follow all these different artists, no matter what they're doing, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, whatever kind of communication device that they have, that they can do what Weezy's doing or do what any of the other artists or Drake or Nicki Manaj is doing. Everybody wants to follow the winner, you know, and all of them, they're the number one stunner right now. There's nobody else in the game that's doing big things like they doing. So whatever they do, you know, because we got to remember, hip hop is a culture. It's a culture that influences the youth. It's a culture that that inspires the youth. It's a culture that pretty much has a big impact on the youth. So whatever they do, regardless of how Weezy or Nicki Minaj or Drake or any of these other artists, no matter how they feel about the situation, they're looked upon as role models. You know, now those role models, they can either be good or bad, but at the end of the day, they have their followers. You got millions of kids or whatever following these people, regardless what they do. So I think that if any time, even if it's in the previously, that maybe a lot of these other labels were out in the forefront, and Cash Money still wasn't given as much respect as it's given now. If it was a situation of back then, I would probably beg to differ and say, okay, well, maybe Cash Money needs to focus a little bit more on the music as opposed to clothing line and all these other and branching off into all these other ventures. But right now, there is nothing, absolutely positively, without a doubt, nothing bigger than Cash Money. So I believe this is opportunity knocking at the door, in the sense that Cash Money needs to, really definitely sit down on a table and figure out, as far as both clothing line, shoe line, as far as production companies, as far as making movies, because all these artists, like I say, they capitalize on the basis of what their foundation was, which is most of them is music, but they branch off because they've already gained that advertisement, they've already gained that marketing, that marketing. What do you call it, promotion from just being rappers or being artists or what have you. So they're already a brand on their own, and because they already know their brand on their own, or so, it's easier for them to make that change. It's easier for them to make that transition, as opposed to just coming out and saying, hey, you know what, my name is Nelly, I want you to buy my shoes. I don't know who you are, you don't know me, I don't know you, just buy my pair of shoes, it's hot. But no, Nelly's known as an artist, he's known as someone that's cool, that's hip. So 9 times out of 10, when females see it, they're like, oh, Nelly, he's a great artist. He's a multi-platinum selling artist. So now he got a pair of, apple bottoms out. So cool, it's a good look. Let's go and buy it, because we already know Nelly. We know what he's about, And that's pretty much how the trend starts. It starts from what the foundation or what the basis of what they were all about originated, And as Cash Money knows as well, hip hop is not just a situation whereby it's just all about what do you call it? Not just about making records, but it's also about cars. It's about clothes. It's about shoes. It's about pretty much anything that influences the hip hop community. So my thing is like this: I believe that Cash Money can branch off into all these other aspects as well. I believe that Cash Money can branch off into production. Look at a lot of these big, artists. As soon as they make their platinum selling album, or as soon as they get some kind of little notoriety or what have you, or whatever, the next move that they make is they start making movies, A lot of them even make more money off of movies than they do their record label. Because let's face it, 9 times out of 10, an artist or whatever on any label on any given day is only going to sign maybe a 10 or 12% deal, meaning that out of all their record sales, even if they go platinum, the record label might make like maybe $10 million or whatever for that platinum album, and the artist makes maybe 1.2 million. Most of the time, the way they make their own money is by going out on tours or by promoting themselves or getting some kind of sponsorships with any of these big organizations. And at the end of the day, that's what that's what it's all about. So, having said that, in the music industry itself, there's a lot of money, but at the same time, there is a lot of money to make. It's more or less of an avenue to make more money. I mean, look at Sean John right now. It's a multi-million-dollar clothing line company. Look at, like I said, the other big names as well. So I believe right now Cash Money is in a position to pretty much control anything they want, whether it's a shoe line, whether it's a clothing line, whether it's a movie production. They have Cash Money has the ability and also has the funding and the backing of the artist, the money, the industry, and anything else that you want to put in the mix. And I believe right now is a very, very good time to take advantage of that opportunity, if any. Because like the old saying goes, opportunity only knocks once. Like I said, I don't need to tell that to y'all because y'all already know that. I'm like I said earlier, I'm nobody. You don't even gotta listen to me because all these things I'm telling you or whatever is something that you already know, or maybe something that you're already working on or in the process of. But like I said, it's more or less my own personal opinion, and just putting it out there to you guys is more or less of a comment, or as a more or less of an awareness of as far as what's going on. But like I said, my main thing right now that I feel that the other side of Cash Money will probably benefit most of is probably movies. And that's the other that comes to the point that I wanted to make across to you guys was this. That earlier I told you in my first YouTube video, I basically talked about the record industry and things like that and how you guys were doing in that aspect. But I'm also multi talented and I have a lot of different diversity as well in many things. Like for instance, I write screenplays as well. And I have screenplays right now that I've written and that I'm trying as much as possible to get out there in the forefront to Hollywood. But obviously, with Hollywood and their bureaucratic BS and things of that nature or whatever, they really don't see true talent. For the movie industry itself, just like how you guys took over the record industry, where you saw that most of the record companies were coming out with trash, you were innovative enough or whatever, you were creative enough to know that to bring artists that will come out with originality, that will come out with stuff that people have never seen before. And I think is this same ideology, and for a long time, like I said, you basically sold the records or whatever to distribute the records that were distributed when you guys were independent. Either sold out the trunk of your car, or word of mouth, or any of these other avenues or whatever that made you guys well known or well established long before Universal Records or any of these other big corporate America companies came knocking at the door. But I believe that same influence, that same persona can be redirected, that energy can be redirected into the movie industry as well, because there's not that big of a difference between the movie industry and the what do you call it, in the record business. Just like people, artists, and you guys too, they're selling music out the trunk of your car. Artists used to do that before they became big. I think if you redirect this energy and put it into the movies itself or so, it can have a big impact. And what I mean by that is that most Hollywood movies right now are pretty much trash. They're not doing anything. They're making renditions of the same old movie. But me personally, I believe that if you start a foundation of getting these writers, these screenwriters, these producers, these directors, if you get them right from film school and you get into their mind, you get into any idea that they might have, I think you have a better shot of signing them to either maybe your own production company, Cash Money Productions, and movies, and just coming out with new material that Hollywood has never seen before. So get at me, Cash Money, Ron Williams and Birdman, FEYI02@AOL.com. I got a lot of ideas. I'm multi-talented, and I can definitely bring a lot of things to the table. And it's just not music. It's a whole lot more than that. Get at me.